All right, thanks for joining us. So soccer season is in full swing and Battle Mountain High School entered a game with Glenwood Springs undefeated on the year. It was a stalemate in the first half where we saw a lot of great saves from each keeper. Giancarlo Areola here for the Demons, and on the other side, Ezekiel Alvarez throwing that right hand up for the block to force the corner kick. But moving over to the second half, we see some action on offense a little over 1 minute in. Jacob Methvin puts the heat on this shot, deflects off Areola into the net. Huskies take that 1-0 lead. 13 minutes later, Demons moving the ball. It's ripped directly to the net. Alvarez is there for the stop, but can't contain the egg, and Gail Mondragon will finish the job, putting that egg in the nest. Later, a penalty kick set up in front of the goal off of a red card given to the Huskies would set up Glenwood Springs in scoring position. Whistle blows, and that's the way the news goes, y'all. Glenwood Springs hands Battle Mountain their first loss of the season, beating the Huskies 2-1. Now, taking a look at some other games around the valley, the Huskies, they're going to seek redemption away at Steamboat Springs, another tough team that's undefeated on the year. With 4 shutouts on the season, they've knocked off Vail Mountain School and Eagle Valley already. The Sailors have only been scored on once this season, so this is going to be a tough matchup for Battle Mountain. Eagle Valley will take on Frontier Academy on Saturday at home, and Vail Mountain School looking to turn their season around against Furita Monument. Although Glenwood Springs got the best of Battle Mountain on the field, the two teams squared off on the volleyball court, and Battle Mountain was looking for redemption there. The visiting Demons entered the game 1-2 while Battle Mountain was on the hunt for their second win of the season to go above 500. Serving, it's the senior Husky Lily Suman who puts it into play, and the rally is on. Glenwood Springs not able to make the most of their possession, so the Huskies, they're going to make them pay. At the net, Gracie Halminski will place this one on the dime where no one can go, and Battle Mountain will take the opening set 25-23. Moving on to the second set, Glenwood Springs serving. The Huskies setting up the spike, which finds its way to Halminski again, and she'll throw it down the Demons' throat to put Battle Mountain up 2-0. On the third set, Huskies with the serve, and Glenwood Springs is there to return with some heat, but that block is just too tough for Marley Geisler, who was a menace all night at that net. And Battle Mountain, they're going to take the sweep over Glenwood Springs 3-0. We're entering the third week of Eagle Valley cross country practice, and head coach Melinda Brandt says the expectations for her team are still sky high despite losing some of their best runners from last season. So we had to catch up with the team to find out what's new with the program and what's next. So last season, there was a lot of hype around the boys and girls Eagle Valley cross country team, and we've already talked with the team a little bit this season. I talked with you earlier, Coach Brandt. Expectations were set very high. We're in week 3 of, fall sports. How do you think the teams have kind of come along this year?
Yeah, we're already really progressing, kind of hitting our goals. The varsity guys wanted to really place in the meets they were competing in, and the 2 times we've ran our varsity squad, they've won both meets so far. The ladies are progressing really nicely, just competing hard and gaining experience every week.
And what have you seen from your boys team? You're down your star runner, Jake Drever, from last year, who's now running up in Boise State, but who's starting to kind of fill his spot on the team? Is your man Monda right here?
Yep, he's part of it. So I think the good part about this season is that we just have a really strong core of guys, and we have a lot of depth. So we have guys stepping up that we didn't expect, like Jack Packard, Dylan, Tyler, Mondo, Cooper, Jack, Jackson. We have a really strong group, and then we have another group that's really competing behind them. So that the guys have been pretty stacked coming in. We had 5 in the top 11 on Friday, which is phenomenal, and more guys right behind him winning the JV meet too.
Okay, and Mondo, a question for you. Season, expectations coming into this year were set pretty high, especially after so many firsts for the boys program last year. How do you think this guys team is really coming together this year, despite maybe being down a few seniors from last year's stellar team?
I mean, I don't think we're down those seniors because they left a legacy. They were like, we're gonna work hard, we're gonna strive for this, and that just kind of stuck through. So they kind of passed that torch down to us, and we're keeping that. So.
And as a unit, what have you guys kind of set your sights on for this season? Is there one goal in particular, or are there many goals? Kind of elaborate on a few.
There's a few. I mean, really, we just want to see each other succeed. I think that's why we do so well, because we get hyped for each other when anyone else does well. As for like big goal state-wise, we want to go top 3. I think top 2 is very foreseeable, but top 3 is the goal.
Competing at the state level, that's the highest you can accomplish at the high school level, just about, besides going to nationals. How do you get to that 3rd spot at state?
Work. I don't know. It's about it was the simplest and best answer I could really give. Just work.
Okay, and what's the work ethic like of this varsity group of boys?
Pretty fun. I think it's the only way to look at these workouts. Like, you're going till you uke. You're going till you uke. You gotta just work hard, and that's what makes it fun. Like, if you're pushing yourself, then obviously you're gonna get better. And I mean, if you go into a workout dreading it and you're like, oh, I feel so bad today, all these like negative things, like nothing good's gonna happen. So you just go into it, have fun, and you're gonna end up doing better, and you're gonna compete better. So
if you quote unquote uke, you're doing it right in practice.
Amen. Yeah.
Awesome. And Ginger, expectations are set pretty high for this girls team. Coach Melinda right here explained to me that you guys are getting better and better each day. The progress is there and visible. Explain to me kind of, what's happening in that girls program that's really starting to pick up.
I think we're just trying to have more of a positive environment this season, just to uplift the girls team to do well and feel proud about how they're running.
Okay, and what have you liked so far from your girls?
Just kind of coming together after a race and cheering on our teammates as they finish, because obviously cross country is a mentally challenging sport, and so it's just nice to have people surrounding you that understand a bit.
Okay, and same mentality here as Mondo. If you don't uke, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, basically. You want to be proud of how bad you feel at the end.
Right, then that transpires, Even yesterday, the mile repeats, having girls run good times and then get excited about it. Like, oh, yeah, it feels good to go hard and then to be proud of yourself. So I think they're really zoning in on that, how hard it is, but being proud of that accomplishment, too.
Okay, and Coach Brandt, what's impressed you the most about this girls team that's seeing progress day to day?
Yeah, I think just talking to each other and communicating. You guys have been doing a good job of that, and the older girls kind of sharing, Ginger and Ellie kind of sharing with the younger girls and taking time out to just show them the ropes and say, hey, we know it's going to hurt. We know this is a tough sport. There's not a lot of girls from the school that are really excited to run. So the ones of us that are here, let's be really proud of the work we're putting in, and they're doing a good job passing that down to the girls.
Okay, and with that being said, what steps would you like to see your girls team take next in practice to improve, to maybe finish a little better in the next meet?
Yeah, I think just keeping that pace going and mentally being positive. When their mindset is positive and they're crushing a workout, that feels really good. When they can break it down into smaller chunks, and you say, okay, I'm doing this track interval, I'm going to focus on this next interval or this next mile I'm running. They have a lot more success when they can chunk it up into smaller pieces.
Okay, awesome. And back to you, Mondo. A lot of firsts for the boys team last season. Are there any firsts for this program on your mind that you'd like to see this guys team accomplish?
Ooh.
Top 3 would be first.
Top 3 would be a first, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we'll just stick with that answer. I think top 3 would be solid.
Sticking with top 3?
Yeah. I mean, I think this is the strongest team that we've had. I mean, we said that last year. But, I mean, keep it through. I mean, hopefully next year they're even better than this year. I mean, I hope that, the torch thing I said earlier, I hope that just keeps going.
Right on. That's awesome to hear. And, Coach Brandt here was telling me about, playing some ultimate Frisbee today. How rewarding is it, to have kind of a chill day like this, to kind of bond as a team, after all these maybe track workouts and mile repeats that, can take a strain on your mental game and physical well-being?
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty great. I think it's just fun. I mean, I think the team works best because if you work together. I mean, cross country is an individual sport technically, but I mean, obviously, when you work better as a team, it all just ends up being better, and it's fun. So,
Coach Brandt, what's kind of the mindset behind doing that?
Just playing, you mean? Oh yeah, I mean, I think it's great to bond over things that aren't running. Not everybody's gonna love every workout or unfortunately not everybody will have the right mindset every workout, but that's just realistic. So when we can do goofy things, have a team retreat, play silly games, play ultimate, it just gets kids laughing and bonding in a different way, that we just want them to see each other and see the value in each other, and it doesn't always have to come in running.
Okay. And what are you guys working on this week in practice? What are you working to accomplish?
Yeah, I think just getting our minds right for Liberty Bell. Liberty Bell is going to be a big race for the boys. They're racing a lot of 5A teams, and the ladies, we just want to do a fitness check of like, hey, where are we on a flat course where we can really see where we're at in 5K. Really zone in on that training for the next session of our, season for weeks like 5 through 8 as we get ready for the next big meet. But yeah, Liberty Bell is definitely a key meet for us just to see where we stack up.
Okay, awesome. Well, you heard it here, guys. Eagle Valley Cross Country doing their thing and having fun at practice at the same time, and you can catch them this weekend running that Liberty Bell 5K.
Go Devils.
Woo!
Yeah.
Now we'll jump on the gridiron where Vail Christian football is playing their second game of the season against Lyons County High. So we went over to the school to find out what their expectation is entering this second game. All right, so we're in week 3 of high school football here in the Centennial State, and we decided to stop by Vail Christian High School, and joining alongside me, head coach of the football team, Tim Pearson. Now, before we jump into your matchup Friday with Lyons County, we got to talk about 2 weeks ago, Dolores Huerta Prep. You guys came out firing all cylinders on offense, put up 46 points, and your defense earned that shutout. What are some things that went well for y'all in week 1?
Well, we came off of our retreat week, and so that was positive that we came out and executed well, not having a normal routine to practice week. So I think that was the thing we were most pleased with, and I think that was positive. And now we take a bye week and come off of Labor Day, and we head into this big game here. And Lions was a great team, a Final 8 team from last year, and we're looking forward to kind of seeing where we're at.
Okay, and over 150 yards passing, throwing the ball through the air. You don't see that typically in 8-man football. What was the decision to kind of air it out more in that game with Dolores Huerta Prep week 1?
I don't know if there's things that we go into a game wanting to work on. In that scenario, it'd be, we are really focused on some of our basic run plays. And then in terms of passing the ball, our pass pro. And so I think it wasn't something we went into trying to accomplish. It just kind of unfolds as you're trying to do other things. So we were really focused on making sure we had our blocking assignments down and being on the same page with that as a unit, more so than what actually happened on the field for our yardage and all that.
Okay, and week 1 in the books, you had that bye week, week 2. Now you're entering week 3, but focusing back on that bye week, how well rested do you feel like your team is coming off that bye week and entering a tough matchup with Lyons County?
Well, we're rested, and you just want to be productive. And so, the kids are probably feeling more so that they want to get going and they want to hit. And so that's kind of the difficult part. I mean, with high school kids, they're a little squirrely when they haven't done anything for a while. And so managing that, I think any disruption to routine is a challenge for kids, especially, high school football guys. So I mean, we'll see. We'll find out. I mean, we're healthy, we're rested, no major injuries, and knock on wood. So I think you're grateful for that, but you never know what team's going to show up as you walk off when you deal with high school kids. But I think we're in pretty good shape.
And a lot of talk about, Battle Mountain's program shutting down before the season began, and you got 5 of those guys on your roster now who left that program as it closed the doors and are now with your team. Week 1, what contributions did you see those Battle Mountain players make in that 46-0 win over Dolores Huerta Prep?
Well, the biggest thing is depth. I mean, if you're a small school, 5 kids go a long way. So, we had a linebacker, Ben Harrison, come in and contribute. Christian Mills, great job at strong safety. Defensive end position for us where we play him on the outside, and that was awesome. Owen, did what he did as a running back, and then Noah did a great job there filling in. So they all and Caden there at offensive line, defensive line came in. They all contributed for sure, and it helps to. All these kids know each other from off the field, and I think with football, they're just a band of brothers coming together and playing, and so I think they just enjoy being around each other and getting away from all the other distractions and just playing together as a group of buddies. So I think that part was positive. It definitely helps No denying that. And yeah, just thankful that they have the opportunity to come out and play varsity football and compete. So yeah, it's exciting.
And this week, week 3, you've got a higher caliber team in Lyons County. You got the better of them 2 years ago. They got the better of you last year. The silver lining is there. What have you guys been focusing on this week to make sure you come out of Lyons with a W? What have you been just working on right behind us in practice?
Oh, it's executing, knowing how they've hurt us in the past, and how do we accomplish what we're trying to accomplish, things that have worked for us, making sure our blocking assignments again are really dialed in, what we want to do in the run game, what we want to do in the pass game. It all starts with blocking up front, and so trying to have that stuff dialed in. Defensively, making sure that we can adjust the different formations they do. They're going to want to run the football on us, and we got to stop the run. I mean, that's football. You got to stop the run, and so we're focused on that, or knowing our responsibility and doing your job, and trying to make it as simple as possible for the kids. So that's kind of what we're focused on, is just do your job, do your assignment. You don't have to make the big play every time, and as long as you do your job, it should all come together and piece itself together.
You mentioned execution, and with the 3 facets of football in a higher caliber game like Lyons County, what facet needs to come together the most in order to walk out of there with the W on the road?
I would say it's limiting mistakes at any facet, a turnover, an interception, being smart with the ball, having your quarterback not try to do too much. You can force the ball sometimes, and then other kids, there's times where you got to make a play. And so, getting that fumble recovery, getting that strip, making a stuff here or there. So those types of things are going to be what's important at any facet of the game, just, I think, turnovers.
Okay, and I mean, week 1, going back to Dolores where it's a prep, you guys were able to air the ball out. They were a lower caliber team, probably not as well put together as you guys are in week 1, but now you're in week 3 against a higher caliber Lyons County team. Is there any kind of plan to air the ball out more against this tougher opponent?
No, not necessarily. We feel we're a run the ball first team, and so we really want to run the football, and sometimes you need to do something different to accomplish the goal of moving the ball. So if that comes up, then we'll adjust. But we're ready to do what we need to do to accomplish what we need to do. But we definitely got to run the football and establish the running game. If we can get 5 yards a pop, we're in really good shape. 4 yards a pop, we're still moving the sticks. And so we just want to be content in that and stay disciplined with that. And if we got to do what we need to do, we're ready to do it.
Okay, and I'll hit you with one last question, because there's a team behind us that needs leadership on this practice field right now. But plain and simple, what does Vail Christian need to do going down to Lyons County in order to pull off the win on the road?
I think, not turning the ball over, sustaining our drives, and just playing assignment sound football. I mean, Lyons is a great team. So if we do that, we control what we can control, and whoever comes out on top, it takes care of itself. But we just got to control what we can control and execute and take care of things and play as a group of guys and just see how it all unfolds.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
After a thrilling season opener against 17th ranked TCU and national championship runner-up, CU Boulder is entering week 2 of college football, and they're taking on their longtime rival Nebraska at home in Boulder. The team is still high on their victory over TCU, but know what's at stake this weekend as the Cornhuskers come to town for the first time since 2019. Nebraska, they own the series 49-20 all time, but Colorado, they've won the last 2 meetings. Coach Prime sat down with the media to discuss his expectations for Saturday's matchup and explained he knows what's at stake for the Buffs.
It's a rivalry. We take it very seriously. First home game in front of Buff Nation, and we had a good practice today. We really did. I thought we could have took it up a notch with our focus, but we had a pretty good practice today overall.
Now the Cornhuskers are coming off a disappointing loss to Minnesota, where they could not win that turnover margin as they fumbled once and threw 3 picks, ultimately falling to the Gophers 10-13. And with a loss like that, though, you've got to be hungry for a shot at redemption, and what better week to turn things around than against your rival. Taking a look now at the weekly AP poll that's dropped every week. We're in week 2 now, coming up on it, and many of you Buff fans are going to be excited to see Colorado there in that 22 spot, inside the top 25 for what feels like it's been forever. After knocking off 17th ranked TCU down in Texas last weekend in a shootout, which had many Buff fans on their feet, including myself, but a lot to look forward to this season, especially now with Nebraska coming to town this weekend. Could be an interesting matchup, but I'm expecting big things from the Buffs and Coach Sanders in their home opener. Now we'll take a look at some other collegiate football games from around the Centennial State. Colorado State will have a bye this week before they take on CU in Boulder next weekend. The Rams, they're coming off a loss to Washington State at home that ended in a 50-24 loss. And then we'll go down to the Air Force Academy over there in Colorado Springs. They caught a big win against Robert Morris in their home opener. Now they'll turn their attention to Sam Houston State, a longtime FCS foe that's been in the FBS for 2 years now. But this one is pretty favorable towards Air Force, but you never know the outcome of these games early in the season. Now we've touched on college football, but we got more to look forward to on the gridiron as the Broncos open up their season against divisional opponent in the AFC West, the Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders down quarterback Derek Carr this season after a trade to the Saints, and he's been replaced by Jimmy G from the 49ers. Russell Wilson and the Broncos will make their season debut with new head coach Sean Payton Sunday in Denver at 2:25 p.m. Mountain Time. So I say it every week, but a lot of great games to look forward to this weekend, especially that CU-Nebraska game where Colorado enters that matchup ranked. But make sure to come back to us next week as we'll be down in Boulder getting those highlights and post-game interviews from Coach Prime that you won't want to miss. So make sure to tune in for that.